Hello and a very warm welcome, your annual season awards. We do this every year on the channel and we're going to do it again. 2024 season awards, and we're going to go down and give our awards. So let's jump into it. Best driver of the season, of course, Max. Four-time champion, age of 27, cemented his legacy as one of the all-time greats. And he wins the title in the third fastest car. Remarkable sensation. One in a generation talent. Max has to be driver of the season. We jump into worst driver. Logan Sargent. 0 points. Dropped mid-season. Continuously crashed the car. I feel sorry for Logan in a way because he should have never been retained. You can blame Vals for that. And yeah, and then he was totally thrown under the bus by his team principal, James Vals. So yeah, unfortunately, Logan is not cut out for Formula 1. But yeah, his treatment was a disgrace, and I called it as I see it. Now we jump into best race. Brazil. Every day of the week. Brazil had everything. Crazy weather, dramatic weather, and this way it should be the last race for me. It was full of action, carnage, chaos, red flags, the sprint race getting fixed, leaving Hulkenberg on the side of the track. It was crazy. And then we saw a double podium finish for Alpine. The race had everything, and Max went from 17th to 1st. It was crazy, barbaric, and easily the best race of the season. Into the worst race, Imola. Oh my god, this was the worst race of the season. It was so bad. I gave this a 0 out of 10 on race reaction. Imola is only on the calendar because of the historic nature and what happened at this track. It is a piss poor circuit where you can't overtake. It is basically follow the leader Grand Prix. It is a terrible, like, it should be on the calendar for its history, but racing wise it is abysmal. Yeah. Best overtake. I'm gonna give it Alex Albon. Now, did he mean this overtake? We just had the FIA awards and they gave Sergio Perez it for, like, Alonso running someone wide and then he cut underneath him. But if Albon meant this overtake, you've got to give him his credit. But I think he was trying to avoid a crash, in my honest opinion. We could have Lewis Hamilton round the outside of George Russell. That was a really good overtake. Charles Leclerc as well. But yeah, I'll give this one to Albon. Yeah, we're going to get into Albon later in one of the awards as well. Next up, what have we got? So yeah, Albon for best overtake at Canada. But comment down below. Be interested to know your thoughts. Did he mean this one? Or was he just avoiding a crash? Best drive. Max at Brazil. Wow, wow, wow. 17th to 1st. We saw it in 2016. An utter masterclass. Just ridiculously good. He was angry. He was pissed off. The FIA fucked him so many times this weekend. And he came out swinging and gave 2 fingers to the FIA and said, fuck you. You corrupt bastards. Yeah, it was that sprint race that was dodgy. And then qualifying, he couldn't get a lap in because they took an absolute age to put a red flag out. Yeah, it was a strange weekend, Brazil, for the FIA. Best moment of the season, next. Lewis Hamilton winning at Silverstone, for me, is the best moment of the season. It was so emotional, and all that pain, 2.5 years was it? Of pain. Just could he recover from Abu Dhabi? It was one of the best emotional moments of the season. Lewis winning at Silverstone, ending that pain, the release, the emotion, the hurt, the pain. And it was an amazing moment. It really was. Yeah, that is my best moment of the season. And the celebration with his dad was one of the most iconic images of the year for me. Yeah, that's got to be my best moment. Next up, most emotional. McLaren winning the Constructors for the first time in 26 years. Wow. Oh my God. McLaren finally did it. Yeah, should have won the drivers. We didn't. We bottled it. But we won the Constructors. And it was amazing to see the team celebrate. I always go back to the Honda pain where Alonso retired basically every race. And to see where the team's come is remarkable. So yeah, most emotional for me, McLaren winning the Constructors. Next up, most embarrassing, Lance Stroll, the Canadian national embarrassment, who actually managed to bin it on the formation lap. You think that's bad enough? It gets worse. He bins it on the formation lap. He goes down the gravel path, like tarmac path. Just reverse it out, Lance. Go back to the pits, get a new front wing, and it's a long race. It's changeable conditions. Lance, instead of reversing up the path, decides to go into wet gravel and get beached. You think that's bad enough? It doesn't end there. The crowd then chant Drogovic, Drogovic, Drogovic at him. Wow, Lance Stroll, what an absolute pleb you are. That is the most embarrassing moment of the season. It's not even up for debate. I mean, he drives in wet gravel and gets beached. Hilarious. 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 So funny. On to the Maldonado Award. Now, if you're not famous for this one, it's the Crash Award. And of course, it goes to Williams' F1 team. Crash after crash after crash. Damage, damage, damage. Sargent smashing the car up. Albon smashed it up at Melbourne. Sargent, big incident at Zandvoort. Then Brazil cost the team 5 million. Over 10 million in a season due to damages. Ridiculous by Williams. Yes. On to the biggest shock. Yeah. Well, we've got a few for biggest shock. I can't pick one. I think the standout one is Lewis announcing he was going to Ferrari. But what a season it was for announcements. And that's what I've got written down. The amount of announcements. Lewis went to Ferrari. Carlos Sainz went to Williams. Horner trying to literally deflect the whole team and sabotage the team by messing around with his employers. Adrian Newey goes to Aston Martin. Wheatley leaves. He's destroying the team single-handedly. Then Ollie Behrman coming in. There's so many. Hulkenberg leaving. Ocon leaving, All the rookies getting a chance. What a crazy year of F1 news it was. Next up, we got the best team. And it's blank. I can't pick a best team. Who would you pick? Honestly, comment down below. I'm leaving it blank. I can't pick one. Maybe people say McLaren. I don't think so. They bottled the drivers and only just scraped the constructors. They can't be the best team. Red Bull. They won the drivers but nowhere in the constructors and they fell off the pace massively. Ferrari very inconsistent. So I can't choose a best team. I really can't. So we'll jump into the worst team and that is Sauber. The green tractor. They barely scored any points. They finished 10th in the Constructors. They only just scored in Qatar 4 points with Guan Yu Zhou. Sauber, absolutely shit show. No pace, no performance, poor pit stops, the basics of Formula 1. And they got 4 points all year for their efforts. Humiliation. Surprise of the season, Yuki Tsunoda. Really good. He beat Daniel Ricciardo, he beat Liam Lawson, and still he is overlooked, the Japanese man. He's carried that team on his back, deserves huge credit. He won't get it, he'll be overlooked for the Red Bull seat. But yeah, he beat Daniel Ricciardo, he put Ricciardo into retirement, and he beat Lawson. He can only beat who's in front of him. Tsunoda, very strong season. Flop of the year, Alex Albon. This may surprise a few, but I genuinely believe Alex Albon was the flop of the year. He scored 12 points. He's been at Williams a long time. Of course, the car was not that competitive. But Albon got found out this year. He can beat shit like Latifi and Sargent. And he can only beat who's ahead of him. As soon as Collie Dog came in, he was matching him, putting him under pressure, and Albon was making mistakes. Albon, massive year for him next year. Can he step up against a very good driver in Carlos Sainz? Albon has to be the flop of the year for me. Yeah, very disappointing season, Alex Albon. Yes. Next up, we have fail of the year. The FIA, the stewards, the inconsistencies. Absolutely abhorrent. I mean, oh my God. They penalise Max at any opportunity. Give him penalties for swearing. Give him penalties for actual overtakes. Kevin Magnussen on Gasly at Monza. Yeah. USA, that turn 12, they kept penalising overtakes. Ridiculous. Let the drivers race. The penalties, treating the drivers like children, swearing, like Brown wearing Ferrari caps, Red Bull caps, embarrassing. And last but not least, the biggest crash of the year. This is a difficult one to choose. Personally, I would probably go Monaco, where Magnussen caused a massive pile-up. But we've had some mega shunts. Logan Sargent at Zandvoort. Williams basically destroying the car at Brazil. Yeah. So there we have it. Season awards for the 2024 season. Just a bit of fun. As usual, we do this every year. We do have season ratings coming for every driver. But yes, need to wait a bit to get that edited, as I need to include every driver. Comment down below your thoughts. Adios. Adios.